All right, and here we have him, the great Tommy Alvin. Welcome to the Jumper Punch, mate. You know what episode this is?
I'm assuming from the pre-talk it might be episode 31.
Yeah, it is. It's 31. So what we do is we get the best. And just quietly, between me and you, one of my favourite players at the time, man, 15, 16, 17, watching you, dashing down that ground was magnificent. 218 games, record holder. Are you the record holder?
Good question. For 31,
I think you are.
Probably yes, at Carlton.
I reckon you are. Yeah, no, for Carlton. Yeah, 95 goals, premiership player of 87, and Carlton Hall of Fame. Amazing record, just quietly. So tell me, you came from Latrobe Valley Club in Bensdale?
That's correct.
How did it all start?
Well, I played for Bensdale since I was probably about 17.
Did you play like before that? Was it like you always played footy, or was it another sport?
No, I always played football. I wasn't allowed to play on Sundays. My family was quite religious, so with Sunday sport was out, so I was always on a Saturday. I played at a club called Young, which was just on the outskirts of Bensdale, where all my mates played. I played cricket and football.
Yeah, as we do those days, yeah.
And then went to Bensdale from probably I was 16 or 17 years old.
Yeah. You played fairly well, and you won the 81 flag for Bensdale. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we had a pretty
under
good
coach Trevor Fletcher.
That's right.
Was my memory good?
Yeah, that's a very good memory. He was an ex-Carlton player who actually played a few games for Carlton.
Yeah, he did too. Yeah.
Fletch came to to Bensdale in 81. I think it was 80. No, I think it was 81.
Yeah.
And we had a fairly good squad at that stage. A few young blokes had come in. We got a few older blokes from around the region.
Yeah.
And I think we finished 4th on the ladder and managed to win all our finals game and actually win the.
You won the 81.
Win the 81 final.
Yeah. So I looked it up, and you were tied to Footscray at that stage. That's because of the zone for a couple of years, yeah?
Yes, well...
Did they speak to you?
The Latrobe Valley was Footscray zone. Yeah, they did. They were sort of at me from a reasonably younger age.
Yeah. So you're just waiting around, hopefully you get picked up. Was it always a dream? Like, do you think I can play AFL before that, or
no, not really. Look, the only time I think the light bulb situation went on was when Brian Royal used to play with Bensdale as well.
Yep.
And he went down the year before me, so he went down in '83 and did really well. So that's the only time I thought, well, Brian could do it. Maybe I could be maybe half a chance.
Yeah. And so you get that chance, and in '84, wasn't it? It was '84. You get to play for the club you follow, correct?
That's exactly right. Yeah, it was amazing. It was a bit surreal, but that's the way things happened. And
so you come in, and there's Bruce Dool was there.
Yeah, Bruce Dool was there. Kenny Hunter, probably my two favourite players.
Yeah. And you're playing beside them.
Yep.
Yeah. How was that?
It was just one of those things. You just all these people you looked up to over all your youth, and there you were there beside them, trying to ply your trade and trying to be a part of the scene.
Yeah, 100%, man. And you play under one of the great coaches too, David Parkin.
He was very good. Yeah, you could give him one word and you could talk for an hour about it.
Yeah. I heard that he used to give out like reports every game.
He did in retrospect. I think they were good.
Yeah, the retrospect's exactly right.
That's right. And I think I've still got them stored somewhere.
Wow.
in a cupboard somewhere up in the.
Hey, just quietly, they'll probably be worth a lot of money. Those things, yeah. No, that's amazing.
And he used to call you, I think back when we started, we'd only play on the Saturdays.
Yeah.
So he used to call you every Friday night. I think number one was to make sure you were home, you weren't out playing up. Number two was to tell you your role for and what was expected.
Every player Friday nights, didn't he?
Yep.
Because last day was last.
And then, obviously, the Sunday, you'd have your written notes on how you went. It was all just handwritten.
It was handwritten too. Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, so that's it. So you play 84, 85, and then 86, Parkin, another coach, gets replaced by Robert Walls. How was that?
Yeah, well, it was. Look, Wolsey's a very good coach. I suppose out of the two coaches, all the coaches I had, at Carlton, but they were very hard to split. I certainly coached different ways.
Yeah. Who was tougher?
Oh, Wolsey was tougher. Yeah. Wolsey was very tough. He was, just the way he trained us. Just that he loved the hard stuff. He was just.
You come on, you get some good players coming in also that year. Sticks, Motley, Bradley, Dorotage. Do you feel like something's happening? Like you're playing through that year, all of a sudden you start playing well because you make the grand final in '86.
Yeah, look, we knew we had a nucleus of a very good side. Hawks were definitely the best side in '86, and to be honest, I think we were always going to struggle to beat them, which showed on that day. But we knew we had a good side. It was Wolsey's first year, and that was the first year of the whole group sort of coming together. So we're hopeful of better things to come.
Yeah, and better things did come. '87.
Yeah, they did.
And you, 42-point win, and I don't know if you remember this, you had a pretty good game. You remember who you played on? Buckenara, yeah, who had maybe little influence that game. So you definitely played your role there. I remember the game. My goodness.
Yeah, they talk about playing your role these days, and that's what we all did. It's no different to what we were doing. It was just a slightly different terminology, I suppose. But we were the better side during that year. We had the dream run into the. I think if I remember right, we had to beat North Melbourne in the last game to.
Was that the kick after the siren?
Kick after the siren by 6. You look at that Melbourne this year when they turned around against Geelong.
They did too. You're absolutely.
We only just got there. They got there easily, man. But it's just sometimes those little things, those one games can set you up.
100%.
Which it did for the finals for us, because we got the rest. The other teams were smashing each other up, because the grand final was a really hot day, if I remember rightly. It was like 32, 33.
Yeah.
So the things were sort of set up for us to have a win.
The revenge coming back, '87. You get David Rees-Jones too. Gets moved to Dermy.
Yeah, centre half back, which is I think most people wouldn't have picked that early, but
gave him a whipping.
Worked well. Yeah, he did.
I
think Dermy was, and a few of the Hawks came in a bit banged up, if you know what I mean. So that certainly didn't hurt our cause.
No, there was no Dunstall too. That's correct. There was no Dunstall too. Was that a big night that night?
Yes, it was a lot better night than the previous year. I can tell you, because we got the previous year we got both the Southern Cross, weren't they? Yeah. The previous year we got hammered from pillar to post. Yeah. And that year was just nice to sit back and be able to say, okay, we've actually done it.
Yeah, you win it, and I've asked this a few players. It's the dream, isn't it? You barry for Carlton. You just want to play for Carlton. You end up playing for Carlton, then you end up premiership, and you play well. So you kind of like justify yourself, as part of that team,
Yeah, it's nice on all fronts. And at the end of the day, it's like any job you do. You're there to reach the pinnacle.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Football's about number one making it, which they're hard to get to, and number two winning one, which they're bloody hard to do. So
100%, man. 100%, man. You also played in the '93 grand final.
Yeah, that was.
You remember
that? That was a bit. Yeah, no, I do. Against the Baby Bombers.
Yeah.
Where we. I thought we were probably that's the one for me that got away from us. I thought we were probably the better side throughout the year.
Yep.
We had some really good tussles against the Bombers by memory.
Was there a draw that year? It was a draw at the start when Kernan kicks it out.
Oh, that's right. He missed, didn't he? That's right. He didn't even score a point. We only score a point, didn't we? That's right. He missed everything.
Yeah.
So the tussles against the Bombers were pretty tight, but I think overall, our performance throughout the year, we were the better side.
Yeah.
And
because you also had you played the first final. Was it the first night final, if I remember correctly?
Your memory's better than mine.
And you beat them by 3 points.
Well, there you go. So there was a very tight tussle throughout the year.
And
with
as
them.
supporters, I'm telling you, we were counting the premiership already. You know,
you can never count them.
As supporters, we were, man. We were pumped, man. We were happy, and then I think Adelaide come back against Essendon in the preliminary or something.
Adelaide should have beaten Essendon.
Yes.
They came back from a long way back, the Bombers, and Adelaide should have
I actually got a bad
game.
feeling after they won that game, Essendon, and I thought, I'm not happy about this, you know.
Yeah, I think our performance against Adelaide throughout the year would have, in hindsight, would probably given us a better chance of winning it. And the Baby Bombers, to their credit, they come out in the first quarter and gave it to us, and we never really recovered.
Yeah, no one. Did Silvani, that was the 93, does he still say he touched that ball? Do you remember?
Well,
he swears by it.
I've never really sat there and asked him the question, but if you look at the replay, I'm sure he thinks he's got a
But
finger.
he was adamant, I don't think he would have been so adamant.
I think you'd have to nearly get the cricket technology on it, the snicko and the hot spot. I'm sure he probably did touch it, but honestly...
there's no way you're going to pick it.
It'd be very hard to tell.
And you take away one of the great goals from a Longy. So you play 93, 94, your last game. Do you remember it?
Well, I didn't, but you did,
I did remind you.
You did remind me to before against Melbourne.
Yeah.
And we obviously got beaten. I was, to be fair, probably battling that stage of my career. Got dropped for the next week. I can remember prior to that, in the club rooms, used to be all the 200 game players on the pictures on the wall.
Yeah.
I can remember walking the picture of Wolsey.
Yeah.
And Wolsey was on, I think he's the same amount of games as me, about 218.
Yeah.
I can remember looking at Wolsey's picture and saying, I've got you.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get in because I got dropped the next week.
Did you think it was going to be one more game? That's superb. I love it.
So I didn't get him.
Yeah.
And obviously the next week we got put out by Geelong, down at Waverley. And we went out straight sets, which was pretty disappointing for the year we had.
Yeah, and look, I think, and then it did set them up for the year after, because then they had an incredible year the year after. I know you weren't there, but...
Yeah, no doubt. So for me, the one 86 we were probably never going to win, 87 we were pretty confident we were going to win, and 93 for me is the one we maybe should have won. And as I said, I couldn't quite hang on to 95.
Yeah, 95. So you played the last game, and now I've got a memory here. You've probably heard this a million times, right? So it was a game against Sydney in 1986, right? You're running down the ground. That bloke Tony Morwood, do you remember?
I remember Tony. No.
He grabs you by the hair, he drags you down. It's on video. And they pay a free kick against you for holding the ball, dude.
No, I can do remember that. And to be honest, we catch up with Tony probably once or twice a year. We're in a tipping competition together with Tony, Bernie Evans, and a few other guys I know. Well, he actually got me, wasn't totally by the hair, it was hit through the hair into the collar.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
He's got me on the collar, and obviously the feet, he just slipped straight out. So either way, I would have thought definitely high, but the umpire didn't see that one.
No, that was funny. I'm telling our supporters, man, we were filthy. We were going, there's no way you can't grab someone by the hair. Like, it was unbelievable.
Well, you know what? I should have just been a bit quicker.
Yeah, they should have been a quick, mate. You were a quick footballer, man. Running down that wing, running from the back line there, man. It was always a joy to watch. Did you stay involved with football after that?
Yeah, I actually went and coached Sandringham for 2 years. I was close. It wasn't really something I was aspiring to do, be a coach. But they approached me. It was very close to where I was working down at Brighton. I thought, I went and checked out with the better half.
Yeah.
So we had 3 young children at that stage. And we thought, what the hell, give it a go. I actually quite enjoyed it. Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
I gave it away after 2 years because it was just too hard with work and family. Yeah. You know, I could go a week without even seeing the kids. Up, 6 o'clock in the morning, 100%. Go to work, and they'd be home at 8 o'clock at night because of the football. Yeah. Kids would be in bed, so it just got a little bit out of whack. So
100%. So you say you got kids, they involved in football or?
I've got 2 girls and 1 boy.
Yeah.
They all like their football. They all
Yeah.
go and watch the football.
Naturally can't support us.
Yes, and yes.
Yes, and yes. I've heard a few players that their kids Barry for. There's Jonathan Brown. His daughter is a massive Carlton supporter, and I go, how? How do you do that? But I suppose it happens, huh?
Well, it does. I can remember my young fella Billy coming to me one day. I'm not sure how old he was. Let's say 12, 13. He said, "Oh, Dad, do you mind if I go for West Coast?" I said, "Oh God, why West Coast?" Bloody hell. He said, "Why West Coast, mate?" He said, "Oh, Judd, Cousins, Kerr."
Yeah.
I love them, mate. They're all great players. I said, "Oh God," and, jaws hit the ground. I got a quick think. I said, "Hey, look, Bill." I said, "They can be your favourite players,
Yeah, that's it.
but you're still barracking for Carlton."
I love it.
He walked away, "Oh yeah, Dad, that's a good decision." And then obviously Judd ends up at Carlton.
Yeah, that's it. That makes a huge one, yeah.
No, there's no doubt it's
Perfect.
some stage the kids throughout their life will think about barracking for someone else.
100%. Look, a little story about me, not that anyone cares. My daughter once comes, she's like 3 of her cousin barracks for Collingwood, And she goes, "Oh, Dad, I want to barrack for Collingwood," She's about 4 or 5, and I go, "Listen, man, it's not happening. I'm telling you now, man." And she goes, "But Jessica barracks for Collingwood." I go, "Listen, if you barrack for Collingwood, you'll never come to the footy with me again." So I locked her in the room. I just kept playing the game, and now she hates Collingwood. So I reckon I've done I've done a great thing for Carlton. Yeah, great thing for Carlton. Yeah.
Well, another little one on that. My first daughter's just had her first little grandchild.
Oh yeah.
Her partner's a mad Essendon
Okay.
guy, so the battle's already on. The little Maxies,
That's going to be tough with the old man
Blues
Barry.
and the Bombers. So.
The old man Barry for this, and that's going to be a tough battle to win that one, man.
Oh, we're trying, don't worry. We'll see how we go.
That's exactly right. No, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So as I said, you had a great football career, man. Premiership player. All dreams come true. We loved watching you. We appreciate you being on the Jumper Punch. And thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
And go Blues.
Yes, go Blues.
Thank you.